This is what a live stream looks like. Sorry. We didn't mean to start with clapping.
So we're just going to leave. Let's try this again. It's a prank. It's kind of like the doorbell ditching of YouTube. It's just start a live stream and then immediately vacate. Leave it to sort out itself. What's that?
Our real passion is pranks.
Exactly. Just like Mitt Romney.
Mittens.
How is everybody today?
How is everybody doing?
Nobody's commented on my outfit yet, so I guess I'll introduce myself. Today we have a nice ABBA/Ken inspired fit. You may refer to me for the rest of this
You are
white or Furtando.
We have sound, right? Like this is going fine. I think so.
We haven't even started with our usual 10 minutes of technical difficulties. Or was that what that was about?
Yeah, I think.
Yeah, okay.
Oh, thank God.
We should start a podcast called Technical Difficulty, where it's just kind of expected.
Yeah. But at this point, it's so synonymous with Elf on the Shelf, it's almost redundant.
Yeah, we'd be stealing the market from ourselves.
Yeah. Sorry, just pulling up the chat on a different computer so we're not squinting into the... Stop that. Stop!
What's up with you getting the sent free clothing and not me? What's that about? The disparity.
Yeah, my jumper is by Keener and Tam, who saw me wearing a Keener and Tam shirt in our Girl Define video and sent me pieces from their website for free. It was genuinely the coolest thing that's ever happened to me. I was like, I'm an influencer. I've made it. I'm quitting this YouTube channel and I'm just doing fashion from here on out.
This is what the biblical Christians were warning us about. First, you give women rights. Next, they want to sit on the left-hand side during the podcast. And the next, they're the ones getting sent the clothing deals.
Did you see on the claim?
And the rest of it has to go to the bins.
But you look so fabulous. Like it's really embarrassing that you're complaining. Did you see on the Claymation podcast where someone was like, wow, Sam was truly made from Tanner's rib?
Yeah, from Tanner's McRib.
That's how feminists we are. Can you hear the drums for Tando?
That was low-key. That song was low-key my queer awakening. or blossoming, if not awakening. It's like me as like an annoying as hell 12 or 13-year-old heard that. I was just like, there was something in the air that night. It did something for me.
Yeah.
And I've never moved on.
Yeah.
What songs are you stuck in?
Yeah. What's everyone sipping on or ingesting or inhaling during this live stream? I have in our number 2 mug.
Merch
That's
mug.
an inside Patreon joke. I have green tea mixed with the Trader Joe's Harvest Blend.
Wow.
Which helps make the green tea palatable. I'm recommitting to drinking green tea lately because I heard something about its health benefits. Obviously, we knew, but well, that's where I'm at. Is that interesting for a live stream?
Born again tea drinker.
Born again green tea drinker. Oat milk, just straight oat milk. Love it. Bins is where it's at. Ooh, pasta and wine lunch. Ignoring work. I love the thought of someone watching this live stream while enjoying a pasta and wine lunch.
Yeah.
That's perfection.
Ideal. I wish we had a pasta and wine.
I'm drinking jasmine tea with sugar and almond milk. Did you already eat your burger?
Yeah,
nice. In the car?
Wolfed it on the car.
Wow,
yeah.
That's impressive. Black tea with sugar and soy creamer. Loving all the non-dairy consumers in the chat. Decaf coffee with honey. However, I have TJ Harvest Blend tea in the cupboard. Gorgeous. Liquid IV. Is there a story behind that, Rebecca? I
Waiting
guess,
for the moment I can go home and have an edible, hopefully a legal Delta 9.
Yeah, that's the only thing we will ever fuck with. Even when real weed becomes legal, no. I'm just for ethical reasons, I'm sticking with Delta 9 till the end
with
of time.
Delta 9.
Mm-hmm.
That's my motto.
Yep.
Medical cannabis. Yeah, right. Yeah, you win.
All right. Well, speaking of Can You Hear the Drums for Tando, you recently saw Tan France in a coffee shop on Halloween weekend. Let's hear it.
Well, you've already totally castrated my punchline.
Oh.
Because I was going to start off with, I had breakfast with Tan France. Not I saw Tan France in a restaurant.
Damn it. I'm so sorry.
Yes, I did see Tan France. And I said, this town ain't big enough for the 10 of us.
Yeah, for the 2 tens.
Yeah. And I said, just kidding. We ain't like that. There's plenty to go around. Anyone can be Tan France.
Really good job pivoting on the story. Sorry, I ruined that again.
It's all right.
What did he look like in person? Did he look too gorgeous for this town? Did he look like a plastic doll?
He a beautiful man as he is. But it wasn't like, oh my God.
I imagine him glowing. Was he glowing?
Yeah, of course his skin was radiant.
Yeah. He had that Hailey Bieber peptide blades on his
hair
face.
was perfectly coiffed, but he was wearing like a green felty like trench coat with like colorful studs and sweatpants, and was just like, I'm a celebrity walking in this restaurant and I don't want anyone to give me notice.
Oh yeah.
I was just like, I won't even look you in the eyes. I have that much respect.
Oh my God, I would never look a celebrity in the eyes if I saw them in public. No. Unless it was Taylor Swift, and then I would just be like, oh my God, 1 second of eye contact could cure my anxiety forever.
If I could but touch the hem of her tassel.
That's genuinely how it feels. Never really understood that before then. Ooh, morning from New Zealand.
How much more a lock of her hair?
Beck, I drink tea straight, no sugar. I'm guessing that's the British genes, because yeah, I never see Americans do that. You look so sparkly. Well done. What do you guys think of the camera quality on the stream today? We discovered that the laptop camera might be better than the actual webcam camera.
I like the lighting effect.
It actually looks like this though.
Which isn't
pretty decent.
Abhorrent.
Yeah. Yeah, anyway. Hi, Ellen. We're just in the middle of unpacking Tanner's experience seeing Tan France at Eggs in the City.
Yeah. Which, can I just say, I know that it's a fool's errand to go to a restaurant called Eggs in the City and order something that's not eggs. But if you, like me, show up and you order a tofu scramble.
They have a tofu scramble at Eggs in the City now?
No, they don't. What they have is an abomination posing as a tofu scramble. It's literally just like big dice tofu, like wet ass tofu that with just like a little seasoning, no salt, no like. It was very bad. It tasted like something that you would buy in like 2010, like the only tofu option available.
It's so easy to make a bomb tofu scramble.
Oh yeah, there's so other places
easy. In one pan in 6 minutes, to be honest.
It's like Eggs in the City. At least have an alt egg option.
Well,
but at least they have Tan France, and that's one of the features that nobody else is offering.
I wonder what he ordered.
I don't know.
We'll never know, I guess. Unless we follow him on Instagram.
I think he was smart and got eggs. I think he got an omelet.
Oh, I imagine him as like an Eggs Benedict.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, maybe, yeah.
English muffin. But then I also imagine him maybe not eating carbs. I don't really know. But I imagine him as like very LA in my head. But he does live here, so maybe he isn't.
Yeah, but kind of.
But he's from England and he lives here, so I'm like, we must be similar in a lot of ways, you know? I feel like probably the way because I love the Avenues. I identify as someone who has a $2 million home in the Avenues, despite home ownership being a complete impossibility for me ever. Which brings us to, by the way, guys, if you want to super chat us, you can do that through YouTube. But if you don't want YouTube to take 30% of the money or whatever, or you just don't have super chat set up, you can Venmo us and we'll just read Venmos as super chats throughout this chat. You can also become a patron or support us through PayPal. We kind of use these Friday streams as a little bit of a fundraiser because completely impossible to make a living from our regular videos, at least as of right now. So that's my housekeeping.
House kept. How's all your homes, houses, and hearths? Warm with the fires of humane kindness and brotherly love, or it's as the Scandinavians say, sugar season.
Buy our candles. Someone said before we started the stream that they were burning our candle as they watched this. Let me find the comment. Sister Subdued. I'm currently lighting out of darkness with myself on the shelf Exmo candle and feeling my countenance grow brighter. That's actually a misconception. It will darken your complexion. That is just something to know going into it.
The light will recede from your eyes and go into the candle, but it'll smell great. That's why it smells so good. It's actually curated with little bits of human souls, your own soul that's depleted in the process. It's wonderful.
This was all in the small print. You really should have read it.
That's you really should have. And as we're a coven, it is one of the not prescribed, but heavily suggested orders of procedure for these coven meetings that you start with lighting the candle. If you really want to get brainwashed and totally witchcrafted, like Taylor Swift style, where you're getting amnesia and curing people in the grocery store, you gotta light up that candle.
Honestly, at this point, amnesia feels like it might be a helpful evolutionary adaptation for our species. Like,
Just a little do-over.
I wouldn't mind
sure.
just a little sprinkle of amnesia with a lot of things that go on.
That
Don't
is-
mean to discredit actual amnesia sufferers. I'm sure it is
I'm
very
sure it's
debilitating
yeah.
and obviously not.
No, but when I saw the Full House episode where Mary-Kate and Ashley gets bonked.
Both of them?
They're both playing the same person.
Oh, yeah,
She like
yeah.
falls from a horse and gets bonked on the head and gets amnesia. And as a kid, I was like, that seems so fun.
I remember there was this storyline on this.
And then I found Delta 9 gummies.
Which was the same. Yeah, exactly. Endorsed by Mary-Kate and Ashley.
Yep.
There was an amnesia storyline on this Australian soap opera me and my mum used to watch called Neighbours. If you used to watch Neighbours, sound off in the chat. And Susan, one of the main characters, got amnesia. And I remember watching it and being like, why don't you just remember? I bet I could remember if I got amnesia. Like, I would have figured it out by now. I was like 9.
Put together the clues.
Like, Susan is such a fucking idiot. Yeah. So it's a candle/tanning bed. Yes, exactly.
Correct.
What's the Venmo? I think I put the Venmo in the description box. I just remembered I forgot to include all of our other links, as I always do. You keep talking.
Well, someone, Mercury Shadow said, trying to come up with a Tanner pun for tanning bed. And I think my official brand will be the Tanner bed. So you leave Tanner, then you came.
Yeah.
It just...
We just got a super chat via Venmo from Becky who said, get you and I love that everyone's calling you Fatando. Get you and Fatando some better tofu eggs, loves. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Fatando suits you so well. Like, I think Tana, complete rebrand.
Yeah.
Don't be afraid.
Just straight into...
You've been unsure about your name for a long time, and I think this was just kind of the adaptation it needed.
Yes. Tan is a nice anchor to a lot of pun outlets.
Yeah.
And as
true.
a Gemini, I want to have lots of options.
Yeah, and as a Gemini, I hate puns, but I do like Fatando. Someone said,
that's got to be something else. What's your moon?
My moon. I always forget. I always download
that
the start
Gemini
and then I forget.
you.
Gemini energy.
I'm gonna text Butters and ask her what time you were born.
I think my moon is Virgo. One of them is Virgo, and I think one of them is Aquarius.
If anyone wants to armchair diagnose Sam as a specific astrology,
I've been asking people to armchair diagnose me just across the board for a while. Seriously, don't be afraid. Like, what cluster B do you think I'm giving? Because I need to know. Channel member Jules 2.0 said, I just read Sam's sweater and now I want it because my cat is called Daisy and this says Oopsie Daisy.
That is so cute.
It is such a cute sweater. I do wish it was a cat instead of a dog, but I love dogs. I only know about Neighbours because of Kath and Kim. The way amnesia is portrayed in movies and TV shows is rarely accurate. Yeah, that makes sense.
The way that what is portrayed?
Amnesia.
Oh, it's not accurate?
Ooh, I went to the Neighbours beach back in the 90s on a summer work visa. Was exciting and disappointing all at once. Sam gets the free merch, Tana gets the free puns. But in my defense, I put energy into trying to get the free merch.
Yeah.
A crushing silence fell upon the set of the live stream.
Well, everyone bowed in reverence for a truth spoken.
Well, that Tan France thing was the only story we had planned for the
Yeah,
live
we had
stream,
all our
so
eggs in that basket.
all our eggs were in that.
Any fun weekend plans?
Well, we're watching Ash's movie tonight.
Yeah.
Tana's partner Ash filmed this movie how long ago now? Like in the summer.
It was the winter last winter.
In the Bahamas, and the movie is out, and it seems like it's going to be a really good Hallmark time. I cannot wait.
Yeah.
What else? Oh, we have a double Great British Bake Off party on Sunday night, which tell us in the chat if you're watching this season, but it's going to be especially crushing because last episode that we all watched, we've been watching it every week as a friendship group. No one went home because Tasha had a migraine, I think. And so classic Brits, they decided to just keep it fair. But 2 people are going home in the next episode, which we haven't watched from last week. And so we're going to have to watch 3 people go home in one night. And we all struggle so much when one person goes home.
Devastating.
Yeah.
That's going to rock me to my core.
Yeah. It's so tough. But then at least I'm like, they're all going out together. So maybe it won't feel as brutal.
Yeah.
You know, I bet there's got to be like a special feeling of like being the single person who from that week sucked.
Yeah.
So maybe it'll be easier for them all to go home. I'm going to just tell myself that.
That's a good narrative. Maybe, well, I guess it's already happened to them. We're living in the past. I was going to say,
yeah,
and
they've moved on and they're doing
it's
well.
okay if you get cut. It's going to be all together. And that's just a way that you can frame that.
Yeah.
God, the dopamine crash after being on a show like that has
I
got to
know.
be so intense.
Just like I think about this a lot with shows like Love Island, where there's like communal living. I'm like, that is such a big part of what makes the experience so magical.
Yeah.
Like being with, like, not a lot of people in the modern world, like so many people don't have the kind of community where they really feel that they're like in it together with, and I just think when you're plunged into a spirit, I imagine it's kind of like a Mormon mission where you're in it together. Although maybe that's a bit different because it's like so traumatic and not as wholesome as.
No, well, there is something to it. I mean, that's what all cults kind of like leverage that.
Yeah.
But so do all healthy communities, right? It's like that togetherness, that bond, that sense of support and belonging.
Yeah. I'm also going to a Mormon baby shower tomorrow.
Oh.
I'm excited for that. What do you wear to a baby shower? Just dress as a giant baby?
A baby, yeah.
A baby, yeah. Adult baby diaper?
Yeah.
Or more toned down? Just like big bum?
Nappy with big like safety pins.
Okay. I've got some stuff. Thoughts on Taylor Swift's current girl boss era? I mean, we unpack that in episode 2 of our Climation podcast, which will be coming out soon.
We do. That part of the Eras tour, I was like, this is my gender, like a sparkly business jacket and boots, and being like, if I was a man, I would be the man.
Yes. We support all girl bosses, I think, within reason.
And sometimes even the evil ones, if they had a good reason.
Sometimes they got something to them, you know? Yeah. Pretty dress, but not sexy for a baby shower. That makes sense, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't have really anything sexy anyway, so.
Radically changing the color of your hair does things to your wardrobe where all of a sudden everything that was working before. Also changing the seasons.
No, it's so true. If I wear anything like too beige, it just gets like my hair like gets swapped. But if I wear like a black or a navy, it's like bam.
So that's why I wore this, because I was like, this is the only thing I feel comfortable in. Yeah.
This sparkly Furtando jacket is all that fits me right now.
The Furtando jacket chooses the...
Any other weekend plans for you?
The movie premiere will be fun. The baking party will be fun. I need to do some like creative work.
Yeah, like edit episode 2 of the podcast.
Like,
Please prioritize so it's not outdated.
I want to work on some music, just low-key stuff. This is like perfect weather for just taking really long walks.
Yeah, you got to get it in where you can.
So I've been trying to just walk around a bunch.
I went on a really nice JRT walk last night, the Jordan River Trail at sunset. Was on my phone the whole time. Can't tell you the story, but it was extenuating circumstances. I had some emails I needed to reply to.
The Jordan River
Looked down
Trail
the whole way. Still felt like I absorbed some of the good vibes, though. Then I had a moment at the end where I was like, I need to look up from my phone for like four full seconds. Straight back to my phone. Gorgeous.
You got the negative ions from the flowing water.
Exactly.
You've got the cleaner
it's like
air.
I could be on my phone at home or I could be on my phone by the river.
Better by the river.
You tell me which is better, Andrew Huberman. It's all about atomic habits.
Well, I love my phone.
I seriously can't get enough.
Stop looking away from it.
And winter tends to be quite a romantic season for me and my phone.
Even more so than the fiery passion of summer. Hard to believe.
And the innocent blossoming sweet romance of spring.
Oh, the content you'll consume. I'm going to start giving that to people when they graduate the book.
We should make merch about the joys of being on your phone.
I've been thinking about a song when I walk and I'm looking at my phone. I'm like, I got this little song going about how much I love my phone.
So, love you, baby.
Yeah.
Purple noise of the water and breeze of the trees is healing.
I only take pauses from looking at that screen to look at other screens.
Yeah.
Wow.
This is a low-tech afternoon for us.
How many people are on this stream?
I'm scared to even know because it is 96, which is nearly 100 whole people watching us.
Oh, 100 of our closest parasocial friends. This is wonderful.
How's your energy levels been this week?
Not great.
Yeah. Like, is that how you...
It could be the eclipse. It could be
the Cornucopia Guild of America getting its little claws into our circadian rhythms. You've been talking about it.
They've been sending us magnetized messages that circulate through our nervous system, causing dysregulation. The Cornucopia Guild.
That is a joke from my recent video where, what's it called again? An absolutely stunning Christian breakup scene. I really think that might be our funniest video ever. I've never laughed more editing a video, and I never usually watch back our videos once they're posted. I've watched it back like 4 times because it makes me laugh so much. It's like soothing. So if you haven't watched it, please engage. back to energy levels. I've been seeing memes saying like winter's coming, so your body's more sleepy, but I'm like, something else is up, surely. Spirits, goblins, and ghouls, bats,
assorted bats,
because they're kind of going away.
Energy vampires, of all kinds.
There's something there. How are your guys' energy levels, and what is your best theory for why this is happening to us?
Vitamin D deficiency.
I've been taking my vitamin D I don't take it every day, but I'd say I usually get it in like 3 to 4 times a week, and I've been doing so for like 2 months. Sorry for bragging so obnoxiously on the stream, but have you guys been taking your vitamin D? Have you? I've been telling you every time we come over.
I've just been going on long walks.
Yeah, I don't think that does it though, does it?
It gets that vitamin D in your eyes from the sun.
Because you should be wearing just simply so much sunscreen that you won't be getting much.
I have lost all my canisters of sunscreen.
You've just been raw dogging the sun?
Yeah.
In your 30s?
Yeah, it's... As
a person who relies on their face for a living, you're unhinged.
I like to believe in my heart of hearts that if I believe it's not harming me, it won't.
I do believe in that. I do believe in that. That's my whole philosophy around alcohol. I'm like, put a raspberry in the drink. Yeah. It's registering differently. And that's not true. Like, according to what we know about the placebo effect. Mm-hmm. Like, if I make a drink, I usually try and do like a healthier alcoholic drink, like tequila with like, soda water. Mm-hmm. But then I'll always like put a piece of fruit in at the top because my brain, when it sees fruit, does think like health, wellness, vitality. Mm-hmm. That's just a little hack for all of you guys that you can use to justify your drinking.
to justify, you can really justify anything.
Make the placebo effect work for you, honestly. That's all the alcoholics in my family are fine. What were we just talking about?
Is it Mitt Romney?
Mitt Romney? Oh yeah, how's your Romney reckoning going?
It's enjoyable. I love biographies.
Is it like someone who knows him intimately? Like, how do they?
It's an Atlantic. The Atlantic.
I love the Atlantic.
Yeah, they're always so good.
They have the best journalism.
Anyway, it's a reporter who just spent like a ton of time with Mitt and like talking.
Like Mitt was involved in the process happily.
Yeah.
Oh, with the Atlantic even. Yeah, that's impressive.
Well, it is because it's Mitt Romney's reckoning, and part of his reckoning is being like, whoa, the conservative, like the Republican Party right now is an absolute monster.
Yeah.
And being like, it's just, and so it's kind of like, I haven't even got to his current, like the current stuff. I'm like still in like his business with the Olympics and all that. But for all of his flaws in politics, I do have like a sort of complex respect. Did I say that in the last video about him? And
a complex respect. Yeah, I think that's how a lot of us feel about Mitt Romney, because I mean, just back when all the impeachment stuff was happening, to even have like one Republican willing to say anything like outside of it's kind of like with Mormonism. Sometimes it's the people that are more on the inside that are going to be way more effective. And if you like their views less, they're actually going to be more helpful. So yeah.
Yeah.
Also, sorry.
He is like, he comes across as like really self-aware. Like he, even in his like awkwardness and his hypocrisy and his occasional like lack of guts, he's still like comfortable acknowledging it and talking about it, being like, yeah, I guess I just rationalized away these things and did this. And he's like, yeah, I guess, there's people who don't like me for this, which is probably fair. But
I'm
that's
always
like
rationalizing away things, so I completely get it.
I know, yeah.
The stakes aren't that high because I'm not smart enough to get to anything too high stakes.
Yeah, so he's like, I get it. I'm like a rich guy that like is very punchable to people, and he's like, and that's just who I am.
Can I borrow that book after you?
Yeah.
We're gonna do a whole live stream on the Romney Reckoning book. Right?
Unless if we don't get better traction on the claymation, then it's Mitt Romney content. It's on you guys.
We basically have to turn every book we read into a video of some kind, or otherwise we'll just fall into the ground financially.
I mean, that's pretty much all of my hobbies, interests, pursuits. Is like, if it's not for content, what's the point?
I can't afford to have hobbies outside of this channel.
I'm gonna be live streaming my death, and I hope y'all will be there sharing this, and I'll be like, thank you to the Patreons who made this life possible.
And to those of you who just joined, we're reading super chats, but also if you don't want to super chat us on YouTube, you can send us a super chat via Venmo, and we'll read it out too. It's in the description box. Though our normal Patreon links are not. You'll have to go to another video to find that if you want it. But super chat wise, you're in a good spot.
Patreon.com/Zelf on the Shelf. It's very easy.
Something local said, Mitt knows it's all BS, I think, but it is possible his behavior is the result of incredibly massive cognitive dissonance. Does it seem like he experienced cognitive dissonance?
He talks. He says in the book, like talking about the younger generation leaving the church. And,
he talks about that.
Yeah, and he said, "We found the enemy, and the enemy was us. Basically, it's been our history."
He said that.
Yeah, Mitt is reckoning, and he's seen like the like sheer toxicity of the GOP and Trumpism, and
it's a bummer that he's stepping. Is he stepping out of politics?
Yeah, I think he's genuinely afraid for his life.
But he's doing this book, so that's good. Do you think he'll do more stuff to try and like raise awareness based on his experiences?
I think so. A lot of what's coming out is like his dad is obviously a big focus of the first scenes of the book because his dad was a governor in Michigan, and his dad was like, for the time, one of the very few Mormons and one of the very few like people in the area to like be very pro civil rights. He like marched with Martin Luther King Jr. and was like very much instilled in it like this, like you have a responsibility to make the world better for people. And that's what politics should be, is like. And so when Mitt became governor, he was getting everyone together and he's like, what would honestly make the difference for the most people in the state? And it was like getting them healthcare. So that was like his thing was like, let's get everybody in the state healthcare.
Wow.
And anyway, so even though he's complex, there's like, you can see the wrestle. And I guess having been like born into that same system, I have compassion for the seedling people who are like, first of all, born into systems like that and who say enmeshed in them. And then the people who begin to reckon with some of it is like, yeah, it's tough. And I appreciate when people even show a willingness to begin that.
Because things aren't black and white, and you can't like, it's better to have someone who's like had to reckon with all this and then can now talk about that experience. Like that seems like it will add more value to sort of like our collective consciousness, whatever you want to call it. You know, than just someone who's kind of like perfect the whole time and maybe wouldn't have got very far because of that. Or I don't know. I just feel like sometimes it feels like there's this kind of vibe on social media where you're not like allowed to like anything because everything's problematic. But it's like when we remove like everyone is going to be problematic. And like, I just think we need to remove the expectation that they won't be. And you can still, like all of us have people that we really like, but we can also like see the things about them that are like, ooh, you know, but it's like, you don't have to like hate people for that. You can just recognize that we all have our stuff. Yeah.
And, you know, if we're going to like, you know, Mitt Romney, even as a Mormon, when Mitt Romney was running for office, I was like, no. His politics are really bad. And even that, like, you know, everything is so politically heated all the time, and it's very easy to have like these concepts of like ideological purity and ideological like affiliation. Like if you're not in our in-group, you're all the way bad, and if you support this one thing, then you are
that's why I left
all the bad in the world. And I'm like, I as a like critical analysis person, I really do believe that a problem well articulated is a half a solution.
Yes.
And so you know, it's important to talk about stuff, but also with compassion and recognize and for where people are at, where we have come from, and like the responsibility that we have, not just to like be righteous and to be right, but to also create the conditions that help people to actually learn and not feel just shut down and demonized, even in their own shutting down and demonizing. Obviously you can't. There are some people who just like are not going to be open to that, and you don't have to waste your time, but in as much as we can with people who are willing. And I think Mitt Romney, more than most in that hornet's nest, is trying to do something. Yeah.
We just have to like celebrate every fucking positive seed that gets planted.
And it's like, of course, so dumb that like a rich white guy doing the bare minimum. We're like, thank God.
But that is literally where we are at. And it's all well and good to be like way further advanced in our thinking, but it's like, this is the fucking reality. I am a consequentialist at the end of the day. I'm like, what's gonna, like with voting, I have no voting power. Someone was asking if we were gonna vote for Marianne Williamson. I'm kind of grateful that I don't have the ability to vote. No, I'm not.
Because then you don't have to feel responsible
Well,
for going to the
yeah.
polls on a busy day.
Well, no, but like it's complicated. Like so much of like voting is so complicated because I'm very much of the belief that it's like just pick the thing that's going to like have the most impact, whether or not it lives up to your ideals. Not necessarily, obviously in like primaries, the whole point of them is to kind of, in theory, allow for a greater range. But like it just like everyone hates the two-party system, but then it's like navigating voting within that. It's just a tough one. And I think some people are really hardliners of like, no, do not give someone who is not the perfect candidate your vote.
Yeah.
But I'm like, but I don't think that makes them learn. Like it doesn't seem to really, I don't know. It's just complicated is all I'm saying. And I feel for everyone having to make those decisions. Would you vote for Marianne Williamson in the primaries?
Yeah, probably.
Really?
I mean, the primary, yeah, sure.
Yeah, I guess.
Of all the candidates, yeah.
So do they still do primaries for the Democrats?
I don't know. That's the thing is the president is always the de facto Democratic candidate.
So they don't do.
Though I'm pretty sure like they're having like debates or conversations and maybe she's a part of that and maybe you can end up voting, but it's just like it's not going to happen. Like I'd still vote for her just to be like yes,
to sort of bolster the movement.
And then once the time came, I would do my due diligence as an American citizen and vote for Joe Biden with 1,000-yard glazed stare, dissociatively clicking a box. Because even that is better than the more quickly, well-lubricated slide into...
Just needed to hear it, It's
thank you.
Sometimes.
Oh my God, I need to listen to the Jeff Bezos song again. That'll heal me. I've been Ash and I have been just lying in bed watching obsessively the people doing the Harry Potter dub. Then you're free to take the king. Run, no.
He's trying to sacrifice himself. Haven't seen it.
Okay. Y'all ever seen it? There's this old franchise called Harry Potter. It's about this boy who gets called to be a wizard. It's sort of like a long mission for the wizarding world. And it's sort of a metaphor for Mormonism, and you should bear your testimony about it on Sunday.
And Dumbledore was gay.
And Dumbledore was gay the whole time.
That's just a fun piece of it. Vote for cannabis and against fascism. Yeah, good rule.
Yeehaw.
Yeah.
Give me that bumper sticker.
Yeah, I refuse to think of the next election until the new year. I am scared.
I'm
good.
We should
for my
stop.
nervous system.
Yeah, we should stop talking about it.
Sorry for introducing that unnecessarily. But now is a great time to get super addicted to our Claymation podcast. So once election year is in full swing, we can all just kind of zone out in the pointless Clayverse together. Yeah. I think that's going to be an essential survival strategy.
Absolutely. While we do our little crafts, I want to do more like cozy crafts this winter.
Cozy crafts?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Last winter I did a lot of collaging, which is always really nice.
You did an amazing collage.
But I think I'm ready to start learning how to sew.
Are you?
Well, like I just want to make alterations to clothes. It's always been like, oh, wouldn't it be great? And I just want to like not have to rely on somebody for that. Or maybe our Patreon will do so well that I can just start getting everything tailored.
Yep, super nice? Chat us with the Venmo link in the description box. I'm so bad at learning new things. Like there's so many things, like something like learning to sew. I don't know I just like don't get the dopamine that drives me to do it from like thinking I can't like I want to relearn French. I want to do all these different things and I have the time to do them, but like my brain won't go there. Like that's why I've never ever learned the guitar properly. Like I just can't. And that's such a tough one because I always am like battling with how much it's okay to just lean into what you're naturally drawn to doing, But then also I'm like, but I also want to like challenge my brain's weakness as well. So I'm like, I don't know where to really like land on that spectrum. But it's also just like you land where you land because it kind of like is just a theoretical exercise anyway to be thinking about it because like my brain won't do it. What's wrong with me? Diagnose me in the chat. I cannot stress this enough.
I just need to start a little microdose regime and then that'll fix me.
That would not fix me. I would just end up, I don't know. I just wouldn't end up learning a new. I've got like learning issues or I've got like a fear of learning or an aversion to it.
It is like grueling in the initial stages, and there's always like an initial resistance.
I was an amazing student in school though, so I'm like, what the fuck happened to me?
Because then it was like in a system,
Yeah,
and you
it
were in
was-
the habit, and it
yeah.
was sort of like required. And
Yeah, that's so true. Free learning is oof. Unless it's like reading is easy, you know, that's a way of learning that is, I guess I'm learning through reading a lot, but
yeah,
does anyone else have this problem? I do have ADHD. Yeah, that might be a really, yeah, I'm diagnosed, so maybe it's that. Good diagnosis. Claymation is amazing. Please keep her going.
Oh, was that our first armchair diagnosis of the day?
Yeah, and it was a bang on one. So yeah.
In lieu of a
But
super chat.
we're always looking for new diagnoses, so don't be afraid to pile them on.
Yeah, yeah.
And don't be afraid to get niche. Like,
us a-
there's truly nothing we couldn't have, I think.
Specialty cocktail.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Gershwinders.
I was having Invisalign. I'm on like 3 weeks away from finishing my Invisalign. Sorry I've talked about Invisalign so much. I was having pain last night in my teeth, so I took gabapentin, which is like, I think they like consider it an opioid now. I'm not sure. I had it left over from when I had shingles, but I never needed it for shingles. But I had taken ibuprofen for my Invisalign and still couldn't sleep the night before. So I took gabapentin. And I listened to binaural beats as I was falling asleep. And that combo, oh my God, I was like on drugs. Like I was like when Jared got home, because he went to the Cherries concert. Did you go to the Cherries concert?
I don't know.
I was way too tired, yeah.
He went out on a school
Yeah,
night?
I know. Well, he
I
didn't
guess
have work
this is
today.
a Friday, yeah.
But when Jared came home, like I was like acting like high. But I was not high, but I was on gabapentin. But like just kind of an interesting experience. Like I have such insomnia, but doing that with binaural beats.
Binaural beats, that's anytime I'm having trouble falling asleep, I'm like,
It was
delta
like being on
waves.
ayahuasca, yeah. Not that I have done ayahuasca, but yeah, interesting experience.
Well, you can also get like into really psychedelic headspaces with
binaural beats.
Yeah.
I've been hearing binaural, like, you know, when something, it almost feels like the universe is trying to tell you to do something because you keep hearing it in so many places and it's like,
binaural beats.
It's hitting you each time. I keep hearing about binaural beats. So I'm glad I took that foray. I think I'm going to be a convert.
I use them for focusing when I need to like do like a consistent writing task
or like edit
like that.
episode 2 of the Claymation podcast.
That usually I'm listening to the Claymation podcast audio.
That's the thing about editing a podcast.
But like doing a thumbnail, maybe.
Gorgeous. Your last thumbnail this week, so funny. The god awful price of poon. Gorgeous.
Too much to pay. A debt I cannot incur.
Gabapentin is sold as a street drug in the UK. Oh.
Whoa.
Well, I've got a whole month of it. I'm not about to start abusing gabapentin, guys. Don't worry.
Or selling it on the streets in the UK.
Yeah. Although, if this channel tanks, fear of boredom, that's definitely related to the
I almost astral
stuff.
Projected on binaural beats.
Did you?
Yeah.
Technically, what does it mean to astral project again?
The idea is that
I don't know.
you like
Is
leave your
dreaming?
body. It's more. It's different because you're like technically in an awakened state, and it's like the sense of your spirit or whatever, a sense of perception of leaving your body and traveling the astral realm.
Cool.
I did feel like something was like rising out of me.
Really?
And there was like a literal like screen that opened up in the front of my mind, like.
That's amazing. I think I need to hear that. That's what I need.
Well, it took a long time of like relaxing the body and with that like intense.
I've had meditation experiences though where it feels like I leave my body and go to this like blissed out like it feels like I'm above my body like floating around and for like small periods there's like no thoughts, just vibes, and it's so good. Super chat from Annabelle. Yay, love you guys. Love the Claymation podcast. Your videos always make my day better.
Aww,
okay,
thank you.
I heard that we're not supposed to do, my instinct was to do a heart like this, but Gen Z apparently does hearts like this. But I'm like, what's the knuckle? Am I doing it wrong? Let me just Google Gen Z.
Mine makes like a eagle or a falcon, I think.
Just Googling Gen Z hand heart. Yeah, weird. They do it like this.
That's wrong. I will not be doing that.
I'm like, I guess if they've been practicing it their whole lives, it's easier muscle memory, but that seems impossible. But obviously, if Gen Z's doing it, I have to now try and do it. We need a link to those binaural beats, lol.
Is Z short for Zelf?
What? Generation Zelf?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that what age we are?
I think most of our audience is 25 to 34. So I guess 25 is Gen Z, right?
Yeah, it's like cuspy.
I think up to 26 is Gen Z, 27 even.
Yeah.
Yep, very cool. I'm not changing my heart hands for Gen Z. Yeah, I think that's the healthier way to be about it.
This is just...
It's so easy.
It's so
easy. So quick. This is like fucking a riddle, a physical riddle. But then maybe that's good for my brain, you know? Like how you're supposed to like do Sudoku while you brush your teeth. Or...
You're supposed to do Sudoku
No,
while you brush your
but they say like brush your teeth with the opposite hand. Or like my grandma one time was like delighted to tell me about how like she'd just been chatting to like one of our older second cousins on the phone, and she was like, yes, Rosie was telling me that while she brushes her teeth, she dances around, and isn't that such a good idea to get intimate? And I was like, that's so my family. So wholesome, but so just like Andrew Huberman core before he was even doing the podcast.
I listened to Becky's whole album on my walk today.
Oh, it slaps so hard, huh? Mm-hmm. Hannah Shorek, super chat, watching the stream and chopping wood for a fire tonight. Love you guys. That's cool. Powerful.
Yeah.
Chopping wood is really hard from the times I've tried to do it, and seems to take strength I don't have.
It makes you feel really powerful, like wielding an axe, splitting a log. It's like, I am no common ape. I have tools that can be wielded for destruction or for the comfort of friends and a lovely, funky Friday evening.
Yeah, well said. Let's celebrate oh, sorry. YouTube tells you when someone super chats for the first time. It looks like a Christmas ornament. You do. Thank you. I'd love to have a little one of you on the top of my tree. Nice little thing like you.
Little Tanny angel.
Little Tanny. Well, I'm gonna have a beer.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Nice.
I've been so good at being sober this week. I guess it's a weekday, so it's not that different. But I feel like in recent weeks there would be like a couple of days where I'd have like a drink in the week.
I had like a half a glass of wine last night before bed. I was like,
oh yes.
And I never do that.
Yeah.
So it's like silly season.
Silly season. It's a shame I don't have a berry to put on the top of this beer.
Zim, who is so Generation Z, that is literally, the name is literally Zim. I love. I'm Gen Z and I've never seen that before.
So you don't heart like this, you heart like this? Or a secret third way we don't know about? Commune launching 2027. Did anyone else have an Angel Moroni on the top of their family Christmas tree? Did you?
An Angel Moroni?
That's actually... Like, yeah, why wouldn't everyone do that?
Yeah, I can't believe I had never heard of that till today. That seems like, for sure. Wow. We should sell that. We'd make a ton of money.
I didn't offer you a beer. I just assumed you didn't want one, but do you want one?
I gotta wait till a little later.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess Christmas is coming up and Thanksgiving. That's interesting. Always a fun and chaotic season emotionally.
Yep.
I'm going home to England, so that'll be fun though.
I'm going home to Arizona.
Are you?
For a sibling wedding.
Cool. When's your sister's podcast coming out?
Whenever I edit that.
Oh, you have to edit it?
Yeah, I did it.
Please prioritize claymation. The episodes will get dated if we don't.
But we can't even do it. We don't have to do this right now. We're not going to have a work meeting on the live stream. This isn't just one of our friend hangouts where we spend the whole time talking about.
We need to get it up ASAP. But you're saying because our producer is away for a bit.
Exactly.
Yeah, but I still feel like it would take a while. So.
Yeah. Well, all in good time.
Yeah, all in good time. Seen any good content lately? That's
content. Watching 30 Rock again. I just started another go round of I Think You Should Leave, which will just be cycling through my life probably for the next few years.
I really like I Think You Should Leave with Tim Robinson, but it's not really a rewatch one for me just because it is so loud.
Yeah,
and
it's understandable.
I love when things are just so loud.
I saw John Mulaney and Stephen Colbert talking about David Byrne. And that just was like a little triage that made my heart really happy.
Taylor Swift went on Jimmy Kimmel recently, and I haven't seen that yet. That's excited for that. Oh, I finished Love Island, which Love Island is 60-hour-long episodes, so it's really been an intense part of my life.
60-hour long
It's because it is on every day for an hour in the UK for the 8 weeks.
Every day for an hour.
It's 8 weeks of an hour of content a day.
Whoa.
I've watched it all, and so now I'm like, there's a little hole in my life.
I am so ready to make reality TV.
Yeah.
It's coming,
but
I guess this is as real as it gets. This is it.
Yeah.
I just feel so confined to this frame. I want to spread my wings and fly away, but not in like an R. Kelly way.
But like an eagle.
Like an eagle,
yeah.
More in a different Space Jam adjacent
who was it
song.
that sang that song? Seal?
More
in a seal kind of way.
Yeah.
Yep, 1989 came out. I loved that. Tanner's not really a Swiftie, but he's heard some of the songs ish, maybe. I don't know. Have you heard Slut?
Was that?
You really should.
Are we going to do a live listen now?
No, we won't do a live listen, but like you really should. Ooh, fun. My premium payment failed on Spotify. That was so sick. My card expired.
Oh, getting an ad on Spotify is a nightmarish experience.
Do you get ads?
No. I'm saying when you don't realize your card is expired and then you hear an ad on Spotify out of the blue.
Oof, yeah.
It is.
Yeah. Also, anytime you have to like update your card or type in your card, that is one of those like impossible tasks. Yep. Really tough. What was I talking about? Okay, you really should listen to 1989 re-release Vault tracks that just came out from Taylor Swift. They're so good. Her and Jack Antonoff are a dream team.
I do think that they are a dream team.
And they really are her best Vault tracks ever.
Slut. Well, I can't relate to being a slut, so I just don't know if that's for me.
Okay.
Being an ethical slut.
I'm in my unethical slut era, personally.
Toxic season.
I only get off on the lack of ethics.
But I do acknowledge that up front.
But yeah, which is kind of ethical.
Yep.
Which then kind of makes me not feel into it anymore. So it's such a tough one.
It is, but it rides that razor thin line of pleasure versus pain.
Pleasure, pain. Yep. Kind of like drinking some things that are fizzy, especially a LaCroix. It's like, ouch.
Oh, yeah.
Every sip is like, ouch, but also grrr.
Yeah. I am so white that I'm like, have to wait for the can to simmer down after it's been opened.
That's the
like,
best time is when you just open it. Especially when you're so thirsty and like you can't drink it fast enough, but it's like agonizing. I love that. Lisa said saw David Byrne in the 90s while tripping on shrooms and was overjoyed when he introduced And She Was by explaining that it's about his neighbor who was tripping. Now my band covers the tune. I love that comment.
And she was.
Oh, Ryan Adams' release of his version of the 1989 album is not to be missed. Is that okay? I'll certainly listen to that. But I'm like, why are men covering Taylor Swift? I'm not sure about that. But I love all 1989 covers, to be honest. I have to give the LaCroix a minute.
Yep.
Yeah.
Cool off.
I just saw in my YouTube a video that I did not watch, but sometimes you'll like watch it start playing with the captions for like sometimes minutes, but you're like, you don't want to watch the video, but you're like 3 minutes in by just like looking at it in the feed.
Yep.
But I saw that spicy food is good for you. It's kind of like an ice bath for your insides in that it's like a micro stressor. Like it causes your body a tiny bit of stress, which then is good for it. So, I'd rather have spicy food than do an ice bath, I tell you that.
Yeah, same. I microdose Wim Hof by washing my hands with cold water.
Which is agonizing if you get it at the wrong time, yeah. Honestly.
Just kidding. I'm constant princessing myself with hot water and the fine things of life. I do not want to get stronger through resistance or whatever. Not interested.
Yeah.
I'm only drinking, I guess... the LaCroix is my Vietnam.
When I'm out of Vietnam, I don't want the LaCroix anymore.
Oh, hey, speaking of Vietnam, the reason Mitt Romney's dad lost the election is because he said that when he went to Vietnam to like see the war effort, he was brainwashed by the U.S. Army. And that like cost him the election. They were like brainwashed because he was like, it was a total propaganda thing, and I was brainwashed by the military and thinking that was a good thing. And that's when he lost it was like,
it's almost interesting that Mitt Romney like has been so conservative given all that.
I really think he was like, I mean, he is like a capitalist for sure, but in a different way than Trump is, and he's definitely been more on the liberal side.
Okay.
He's been, and that like
And
he got, everyone gets more conservative when they run for president to try to get that fan
and the
base.
Republicanism, like conservatism today, is not what it used to be necessarily. It didn't used to be so polarized.
Yeah, exactly. And it's interesting to see that process playing out kind of through his eyes, and also him like acknowledging the ways that he did that to like he talked about like how he would speak differently to the NRA, and like how he kind of sold out in that way. No, not that it was like totally in that words, but he's like self-aware, which at least that the bare minimum.
Romney: A Reckoning audio ebook is available at the library. Hell yeah. Does he read I guess he wouldn't read his own biography.
I bet he has, because he like was a part of it, and I'm sure.
Don't you think it'd be weird if he was the voice of his...
Oh, it's a voice of it?
Yeah,
no.
yeah.
Oh, I thought you meant like, has he actually?
No,
yeah, that would be so weird, him talking about himself in third person.
All right, I'm putting it in order right now. Just because, well, when do you think you'll finish it?
I don't know.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Do not eat too spicy food or you'll end up intolerant like me. There's no risk of that with you.
No, they call me Baby Spice for a reason. And that's actually my title for this outfit, my subtitle. For Tando, Baby Spice. Baby Spice for Tando. Sounds like a delicious meal.
Yeah. Pretty sure I'm living with enough stress. My diet doesn't need to contribute more stress to my body. Yeah, really valid. Really, really valid. If you just got here, we're doing super chats via the YouTube super chat feature or via Venmo. If you don't want to give YouTube a third of your money, we use these Friday streams as a fundraiser. So any support you want to give us is really helpful, or you can just be here. And
have you watched Bottoms yet?
No, it's a movie.
Yes.
Adding it to my to-do list.
Comedy of the year. Yes, comedy of the year for sure, hands down. Right?
What's it on?
Am I right? And then theater camp
What's
number
it
2. I'm not sure what it's on, but definitely need to see it.
It is on, looks like it's on Google Play, Apple TV, Vudu. Oh, those are all hard ones. Amazon Prime, perfect. Oh, and YouTube for...
It's perfect cuspy content for us and our target audience.
Cuspy, like Gen Z, millennial cuspy? Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Perfect.
Nostalgic, TikTok-informed comedy.
Marissa not only sent us a super chat, but used the super chat to amplify the important message of hit the like button, folks.
Wow. Every commenter a missionary. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Marissa.
Every super chatter.
Where can I order Baby Spice by Tando? Oh my god, you should release a hot sauce. You're the new, like, we need a new like food figurehead, because you know there's like Mrs. Butterworth's, all these different like the ladies of the syrups and like other products, usually ladies.
Rachel Ray's.
I just think we need a new one for the modern era, and
yes.
I think it's you.
For Tando.
Yeah, like this is what
I do
you're
have
born
sort of
to
saw,
do.
and the new Newman.
Yeah.
Wow.
The Yeoman.
Did you guys know that there's a whole segment of the Boy Scouts that are Sea Scouts? We learned that this week. And they have titles like Yeoman, and what were the other ones? Like Barrister's Mate or something like that.
Oh, I want to find what they actually
That's got to be they.
Any Yeomans in the chat, pop off. Who did you text it to? Me and Trevor?
Yeah. See, yeah, exactly, John. That whole thing was just a liability, a sunk cost liability, I'm sure.
Botswain and Botswain's mate.
My mate.
Oh, Boatswain. Sorry, not Botswain. Purser, Yeoman, media specialist.
For all the media.
And then all the others
on the ship.
Yeah.
Various announcements and agendas.
Yeah, I don't know anything about the Boy Scouts either, and I was kicked out of the Girl Guides. And almost kicked out of the Brownies.
For what?
Bad behavior. In hindsight, I'm like, was it ADHD? It was probably ADHD mixed with trauma. I've told you this before.
They're like, you have a strong aversion to learning.
No, I would just kind of perform for a crowd. Like if I like, it would be like a serious time where we were supposed to be like lining up in silence, and I would see an opportunity, and I can't quite explain.
The moment was begging for someone to belt "My Heart Will Go On."
The comedic flow I had in those times where I was like getting in trouble the most. I've never been funny. I've never been more like in flow state than in those times. So I honestly regret nothing, but it did cause me a lot of problems. Like I wasn't allowed to go to Brownie camp. I was just seen as a bad kid, saw myself as a bad kid. But I really just think my material was excellent back then because I just had no filters.
There's nothing. Did you make the teachers laugh?
Yeah.
That's
the cool ones,
Yeah.
They would be like, we had this one teacher, this geography teacher who was Welsh, and Welsh people were just so funny. I love Welsh people. If the delivery of most things they say is just like my favorite thing in the world. But she would always be like telling me off while like cracking up. But it was like getting pretty serious.
Yeah.
Like I had to have a meeting with the head of year, but like I was being really funny. And now I have a claymation podcast.
A way to, channel that energy.
Mm-hmm.
I definitely had a few instances of being like kicked out of the classroom while the teacher was like laughing hysterically, just being like, "You cannot be in here."
I've been kicked out of a few classrooms, yeah.
One time when we were, they take your pictures for like to get in the yearbook and get your like school ID or whatever. I snuck back into the line after getting my picture taken with a fake mustache and glasses.
That's
and, like,
so
suit
good.
change.
And you got in so much
Gotta
trouble.
change. No. I didn't get in any trouble.
Oh, but then your sister did it.
My sister did the same thing the next year and she got suspended. And the principal
So
said,
fucked up.
it was funny when Tanner did it.
That's so fucked up because it's like a younger sister mimicking what they saw their older brother do and it was fine. That's not fair to
That
suspend
is
her.
not
Justice
fair.
for Jade.
Yep. And she was on The Bachelor, so
And she's so good looking.
we've all
She should
had our-
never be able to get in trouble for anything.
But I wouldn't compare that to a claymation podcast.
No, I wouldn't either. And I don't think.
Because they are vastly different categories.
Yes. In that nobody cares about our claymation.
Well, that's only because we have been shadow banned.
Because we've been shadow banned by the Cornucopia Guild of America. Nothing to Find said, I was Sam in reverse in that I was well practiced for dance rehearsals and theatre rehearsals, but would freeze on stage for the performance. Just so you know, I've like fully had experiences where I'm like the lead in a show and have walked off in the middle of a scene, didn't realize. And then I just have to come back. I wasn't like that good at recovering from something like that.
You just walked off.
Yeah,
That's the most you thing I've ever heard.
It was this, I know. Like Irish
You've already
goodbye
walked
on
off
my
of this
seat.
set like.
I just honestly think it was like there was like not a solo, but where like two people were singing, so it's like a bit. It was like I had two kind of solo-ish songs in the show. One was like a full solo, one was like with another person. It was only on one night of the show that this happened. This was when I was like 18 as well, or maybe 17. It was like the biggest role I'd ever had. And on one of the like 4 performances, it's like I think I just finished my song, and in my mind I was like, I crushed that so hard that I forgot that there was the rest of the scene. So I was just like, I'm out. I slayed. Mic drop. And then
I don't care what happens for the rest of this night. It's over as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
That is so funny.
Just so you know, you're not alone. And also I would always get like given these like singing solos for like various showcasey things. And then would just like my voice would shrink into nothingness when I had to actually perform. And it was like quite traumatic for many years of my life. And then one day I just somehow got over it and was able to sing live with it. But it was like my voice would shake so much and I just like could not physically sing.
I don't think I've overcome that with like, well, maybe actually probably a little bit more. But when I first started to like play stringed instruments.
You're so good at the guitar.
The first time I played the banjo on stage, I literally didn't even touch the strings. It
Really?
was fake. I just was like, could not get my fingers to do it. It was like too trembly.
That makes sense though. I think it's kind of nice to go through that. It's ideal to go through that when you're more of a kid because it's more traumatic as an adult. So I guess I'm grateful for those experiences. Therapeutic karaoke. Yeah, I heard that Tiffany Rowe does like karaoke, for, the therapist.
Yeah.
For I think addiction recovery people, and it's just like sober karaoke. And I love the thought of karaoke as a healing modality.
Karaoke.
Yeah.
Karaoke.
Performing under pressure for a live audience is a skill set in and of itself. Yeah.
Have we sung on the channel before? Oh, yes.
Yeah, we have. Not like live.
No.
We've done like little things.
Musical bits, musical numbers.
It's not the most serious singing that we would do.
No.
It's more,
for the comedy.
for the bit.
Sam will be singing on an upcoming sketch that we've put together about the Eagle Scouts.
Yeah.
So look forward to that.
Look forward to that. Yay, super chat.
Yes.
JXTXM. Is that Elon Musk's child's name? You're both good vibes. Thank you. And pounds. Yay.
Thank you.
That's really
That's
nice.
so sweet.
I haven't been live with you since Provo's Most Eligible. That was a season.
You never write, you never call. It's been so long.
If we made it like we'd make like a parody eras shirt, and it's like the Provo's Most Eligible. See, the Charlie.
Yeah.
We have had all of our seasons. The final and most self-actualized form, obviously, being the Claymation podcast.
It was so sweet when we ran into somebody at
Deep
Deep
Love.
Love Folk Opera, because they're like, well, you used to film on the bed, and I was like, oh my god, you know.
Is that the girl that was sitting in front of your sister?
Yeah.
So nice.
Yeah.
So nice. Hello from Croatia. Would love to go to Croatia.
Yeah. Send us an invite.
Or a Venmo. Well, here we all are.
The
hanging
Hallelujah
out,
spoof.
all 109 of us.
Glad you like that one. That one is a fun one.
Yeah. That's a cringy one for me to watch back on singing wise.
Oh yeah, we did sing Mumford & Sons early on.
That was our first video.
That was our first video.
It's kind of beautiful though. It is kind of beautiful.
Yeah. It was, wow, what a time.
What a time.
What a time.
Cute.
Singing Mumford
Hi
&
Alex,
Sons.
love you too.
Is that our boy?
I'm not sure if it's our boy or just a boy or just a person.
Or a person. Which one are you, Alex?
Which one?
Define yourself.
Name your thing.
What's your relationship to us? Friend or foe?
Well, we are just 10 short minutes away from 420.
That tweet that was like, ooh, I can't wait to celebrate.
Yeah.
Jordan Peterson is the type of person to say, unhand me.
That is so true. When is the Scouts video coming out? Yeah, are you filming another scene?
Yes.
You are the king of extending projects into eternity.
I know.
Which is a
And I
good
think
quality.
with Trevor, it's
Yeah.
But Jared doing a wrap-up scene.
Yeah, I
at the
want more
front
Jared
at
in
the
it,
end
yeah.
will be so funny.
Jared is so funny. It's
Right?
so disgusting.
Aww.
Another super chat. Best dressed awards for Tana and Sam. Yeah, two equally fabulous outfits.
Thank you.
Mine is so oversized, it's actually under.
And that just cha-chinged. That was a really special moment. Thank you all for co-creating that with us.
And
Sam, you
you,
look
Nothing
actually
to
really
Find.
cool doing that. It's got sort of like a nonchalance to it where you're like, I don't really care enough. Wow.
Yeah. My love is kind of fucked up. It's kind of twisted.
My green flags are red flags. I'm colorblind.
We just got a Venmo super chat from Bailey who said, thank you for my daily reminder that I'm bisexual.
Oh,
So good to remember. You don't want to forget.
You really don't.
Because that can land you in some situations if you let that slip your mind.
Yes, it's I daily don my gay apparel to remind myself.
I just remember. Thank you so much for that super chat. I just remember that my dream last night was that I was dating two different girls and they both broke up with me at the same party, and I was really like, oh,
What does it mean?
I guess I'm not good at dating girls. This is crazy.
Wow.
But I was really sad.
Two girlfriends? That's better.
I know. I had two, and then I
you
chased two girls, lose the one.
was that the problem?
No, I think they just thought
They
didn't like
didn't
me.
like you.
It didn't seem like it was out of jealousy. It was just simply like, I don't like you.
Wow.
What
Any
does it mean?
Jungian analysts out there, or just good old fashioned Joseph
Or,
color
again, another
Technicolor dream
diagnosis.
coat dream interpreters? I guess that's me.
Ooh, I'm
today.
bisexual.
Do you want me to riff on your dream?
Yeah, I think so.
Bisexually pregnant?
Does that just mean pregnant and bisexual? Because love it.
Or
Pregnant with a bisexual.
or
The fetus is like letting you know early.
yeah, I think genders should reveal themselves.
Yeah.
It's like there's a
You should throw your
on
own
the-
gender reveal party.
what's it called? A sonogram? What's the image that you get? What is that called?
Yeah,
A sonogram?
I think so.
The baby's in there like doing this, and you're like, oh, that's what's the
Wouldn't that be fun though
Bisexual.
to throw gender reveal parties as you grow up?
yes,
Like that's such a fun idea. Even as an adult, like anyone can throw a gender reveal party at any time.
I had a hidden gender the whole time. Yeah, I think so.
That's fun.
Yeah.
But it's like really niche. You know, like when
I
people
feel like
say
there's
that-
trans people who have definitely done that.
Yeah, that's a
Like,
really fun
gotta
idea.
be.
If anyone wants to invite us to a gender reveal party,
An adult gender
non-baby
reveal.
edition, we are in.
Or that's the one where you actually showed up as babies.
Yeah. I have my one real baby event of the year tomorrow, so I don't want to do any more real baby stuff this year.
Yeah.
Sam's new business, adult gender reveal plan. Me being any kind of organizational manager though, nightmare. I would really fuck up your gender reveal. Did they know you were two-timing them? I don't think that was a part of it in the dream. I
was
think
a
they were all
happy- it
pretty like
was-
poly, and I don't know. Yeah. Again, it was just my personality.
I am just fundamentally bad and off-putting to
Oh.
women, multiple women.
One of the girls in the dream told me that like I didn't flirt with them enough. That feels like a useful insight.
Interesting.
Yeah. And in the dream, I was like, oh, I'm trying. It's just hard.
Oh.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Hey, we should do a night at Milk soon.
Yeah. All right.
You want to?
We can do a night in milk. Hopefully, I won't hit on a gay guy again. Tana convinced me this guy was straight. He's like, no, he definitely seems straight. He's been looking at you all night. And I'm just like getting drunker and drunker, dancing closer and closer to him. And honestly, eventually it was fine. I was just like, do you like women? He was like, oh, honey, no. And
He's
I was
like, I'm here for the spectacle, baby. I've been watching you getting drunker and drunker.
And I was like, well, hell yeah, you're gorgeous. And I did like a little high five. Yeah, been there, Sam. Thank God. Because that was one of those ones that stayed with me for weeks, cringe-wise.
Well, I'm ready for a little strut through the neighborhood.
Yeah. You're a strut and a half today.
I was worried that the people at Tony Burger was going to think I was some kind of harlot.
Some kind of high-end prostitute.
Did somebody say
I'm one
party?
of the jazz hands kinds of ones.
Yeah, or I'm like on a beginner jazz and tap crew.
You are so tap core right now. That's so funny. You know, like I had a lot of friends who were dancers, even though I wasn't. But like I would go to these like tap showcases, and like everyone in like the 11-year-old tap class in the showcase was a girl, and then there'll be like one boy. There would always be like one boy in the tap class.
Oh yeah,
dressed like this. Gorgeous. Stunning.
Well, happy 415.
This wasn't actually necessarily related to this live stream, but I was just curious. This morning I asked on Instagram what the most
Fuck that thing you ever did is.
well, most unhinged thing a religious person has ever said to you. I was just like very curious. And the response is, we can go through them for a bit if we want. Someone said my mission president demanded he cast the devils out of me after I was, oh my God, this is a brutal one. After I was essayed on the streets and had PTSD. It's just straight in there, damn. This one kind of relates to our video yesterday. My high school biology teacher at Catholic school said, if you and your spouse are good Christians, you'll never have to worry about STDs, then proceeded to not teach the unit on STDs. Very cool.
Great. Helpful.
Someone's father, when they were 14, said, you're bringing the devil into our house. A classic.
The devil loves just sneaking in there.
God put dinosaur bones here just for fossil fuels, but they never had like flesh or nothing.
Never had flesh or nothing. They were just bones directly in there to be oil for our cars.
God's a dinosaur denier and a fossil fuel truther, which is so cool.
Just embedded them in the crust of our flat earth, smushed them down in there.
No one's ever had this one. Now that you're no longer Mormon, will you have morals? Will you have any? Got any in mind?
Not me.
I'm moralless by 2024.
I got my morals removed.
Oh my God. Okay, this one makes me cringe because I've heard it so many times in various flavors in Mormonism and Christianity. Someone said my institute teacher talked about how without the commandments, he'd cheat on his wife. And he used that to justify why there are commandments against gay relationships. Anytime someone is like, if it wasn't for the commandments, I'd be doing this. It's like, you're just telling us you want to do that.
Yep.
Plenty of people don't cheat on their wives without the commandments. So that's a you thing. And kind of offensive to your wife that like she doesn't have what it takes to get you to not cheat on her. Not that it's not she doesn't know what you go on saying. I couldn't focus and had ADHD symptoms because I didn't have a husband. Hard to focus without a husband though. I will say that.
That is true.
Yeah. And with a husband in my experience.
Ash was told that by I think an LDS
that was Ash.
Oh, nice.
Trump was picked by God. Stunning. Obviously true.
No contest there. It's so obvious that the man is a thorough and believing devout Christian. I have no question about that. It's just easy to tell.
Oof. Pete said, my dad wants me to have a near-death experience, so I know there's more than science. Like, why is that the method that you see as like the only path? Allowing yourself to be distracted is a sinful waste of God-given time. Parentheses, I'm ADHD. Can't relate. I would never be distracted.
Not me.
Oh my God. Those TV people we met watched, like, read our story.
Oh.
That's so cool. Yay, super chat. Veronica H. Song, will you do a show about your choice to convert to Mormonism? Also, you always put a smile on my face. I have done videos on that, and it's kind of weird with YouTube because sometimes people will kind of rehash the same topic years later with like a fresh perspective. So like I'm always like potentially open, but I feel like I've kind of told that story on Mormon Stories in a really like overly vulnerable Thrive Stories episode I did. And also videos on this channel. I think I did it as a solo video.
Comfortably vulnerable on this channel.
Yeah. Unhinged and vulnerable here. We got a Venmo super chat from Sean who said, Zelf Live, you all are so wholesome.
You guys are really making our Funky Fresh Friday
really nice.
Fun Day live stream.
Yeah.
Today.
Thank you so much for helping us keep the channel financially stable or thereabouts.
Fate is always a giant man with a big club waiting to smash the channel down.
Yeah.
And it is our good friends and parasocial acquaintances.
I saw that we've made $18 now on the Claymation podcast, though.
Aha!
$9 each.
That's almost a sandwich.
Yep. So, be telling my mom that.
I have already fully rebranded as the co-host of the world's very first Claymation mental health podcast. It's my only Instagram bio. It's my only credentials. It's my LinkedIn.
I really love that.
All my professional history.
I've even been sharing it on my personal Instagram. I normally never share Zelf stuff because I just kind of like to keep it separate. Someone said, Petra said in the chat, long story short, underage hungover Sam got brainwashed and joined.
That's the one.
Honored that you knew that. The brainwashing had like started before the hungover, but yeah, the hungover was a key piece.
Petra is
can't lie.
The keeper of the lore.
Hell above me. Make no mistake, you too. I am a parasocial enemy.
You'll rue the day.
It's good to have 1,000 loyal parasocial enemies.
Yes, keep them closer. That's what I've always heard.
You should come over.
That should be the top tier of Patreon is our worst enemies. Our enemies, because you got to keep them closest of all.
That's really funny. We should rearrange our Patreon tiers probably.
Yeah.
Try and figure that out.
Anyone want a business manage us? Looking for a financial dom to tell us what to do.
We promise to be submissive and patient at all times. We will do any brand deal. We will not do any brand deal. We just got our payment for our first ever brand deal.
We did? Was that the one?
Nice. Yeah. Not a life-changing amount, but like a week-changing amount.
Oh, it put a little pep in my step.
Yep. It saved me from plunging into complete depths of despair, which was awesome.
Thank you.
What were we talking about before this? Parasocial enemies.
Do you have a nemesis?
Oh God, so many. I have put my foot in my mouth a lot in my life. I have been unpleasant and unaware a lot in my life. Nemesis, though, I feel like is a specific sort of thing.
Yeah.
And actually, I think I might be in the market for a nemesis. I don't feel like I have a good one outside of myself.
If you think you have what it takes.
Do you have a nemesis? Anyone have a good nemesis? Let us know. I love when like people just like tell you about their nemesis. I always find that very entertaining.
It sounds like a lot of work to have a nemesis is what it comes down to.
That's the thing. Yeah.
But a lot of times you don't ask for a nemesis. They come looking for you.
Yeah.
And it's when the student is ready, the nemesis will appear.
Yeah. And it needs to be the right kind of nemesis, I think, because you don't want to get pulled into. There
needs to be a respect, I think. A sort of professional regard where you're like, my expertise in the realm of, I don't know, heists or whatever thing you're into that you're nemesizing about. But, my skill is tested by yours and beating you is the ultimate accomplishment. So you need to meet your match and overcome them. That's your nemesis. I guess it was that Taylor Swift you met at the party.
Yeah, and I mean, I couldn't defeat her. She was an incredible dancer.
And
her costume
who
was
are we to
impeccable.
pit two Taylors against each other?
I think that's in the episode 2 of the podcast, which you're going to be editing. Just
a little
simply so
preview.
soon. Hell above me, synthetic division is my nemesis. Every other calculus subject I'm cool with, but that motherfucker scares me. I had
my nemesis is the relentless passage of time.
a nemesis is a fully leveled up frenemy.
Yes. Okay, so there's frenemies, closest enemies, and then there's nemesis, and then there's arch nemesis, who's like the uber nemesis.
That would be probably only if you have an identical twin.
Yes.
Yeah. We may never have to experience that.
And perhaps they're secret.
Hell hath no arch nemesis like an identical twin.
Spurned.
That's tough.
Let's get that on a shirt.
Yeah.
And I think that will help attract your twin nemesis.
Alex, I bought something from your Balesa deal. I did see in a tag thing that like someone had bought something and I was like,
oh. How has it been?
Yeah.
What's your review?
Having a nice time.
Oh yeah, I love
making... nemesis is that lift.
I like how Tanner makes up words as he talks and just goes with it as if they're real.
Shakespeare.
Yeah.
Yep. And Shakespeare plagiarized more than you.
Which is saying something. Mm-hmm. I decided very early on to just be a parody artist, and then it just, it's all parody. Yeah.
Oh, an earnest question. As long-term bestie goals, gorgeous premise. Do you have friendship / nonviolent communication advice? Definitely read Nonviolent Communication. That's a really good resource.
I've actually been wanting to brush up on it again. It's always a good one to like check in with.
Yeah, that is a good one. Do we have any advice? I think like one thing me and you generally do is always err on the side of like seeing the best interpretation of each other, like I don't think we are like easily offended by each other. I don't know.
I'd say maintaining curiosity over defensiveness. That's what I appreciate because like we're best friends and business partners. And so obviously there's going to be moments of like not saying eye to eye or like whatever. But I feel like there's always a curiosity about what the other is experiencing versus
and I feel like, well, first of all, I feel like we don't have a lot of conflict, but when we do, it's like I always know it's going to be fine because I feel like we're both, what makes us so close is like we're both very personally committed to like seeing through our own bullshit. So even if we're being like reactive potentially to our own bullshit, we're still usually able to pretty well articulate like, and I know that this
usually
is like,
we preempt our own bullshit with the whole prologue about how we know this is all subjective.
Exactly. So I think just, question. And I think we both generally have the view in life that anytime you're feeling like a victim, it's complicated. But like in general, we both know that like any way the other might have like hurt us or offended us is never personal. And so we're aware that even if our reactions are like taking it personally, we can also articulate that like we know it's, I don't know. I feel like, we're pretty good at not seeing things personally at the end of the day. But also like I feel like we're also good at knowing that everyone's human. And so if you have a moment of like, I don't know, like you're good at not being reactive, but even if you were, I would like trust you wholeheartedly to like figure that out. Like I wouldn't need to, do you know what I mean? Like some people, that's not the case. Like you don't know that they'll ever like see through their stories or like analyze them the way you would hope they would.
Sure.
But because we are like similar thinkers, that helps a lot.
I think all relationships at the basis, friendship is like the basis of all of every relationship. And part of like being a friend with somebody is like having the trust to hold space for that versus like needing to, as I often felt inclined to in Mormon culture, to keep up this sort of pretense that I'm a good person and therefore I could not have done anything that would be harmful to you. I'm not saying that's an exclusively Mormon characteristic. I've just noticed it as part of my healing journey.
That's so true.
Is like nobody is that. Everybody bumps into each other. It doesn't matter how good of a person you are or how good of intentions you have. Like we have feelings that get hurt. whether somebody was at fault or not. Like
Right.
we're just emotional beings, and we're always going to be bumping into those sides of each other, and like unshaming that for ourselves and for other people, and just being like, yeah, I like love you and trust you. Like, tell me what you're feeling. Oh my God, I'm so sorry. Like, how can we make that right? Versus like, oh, how can you say it? Like, whoa, no, suggest that something's wrong. Whoa, I'm uncomfortable and you must be just toxic or whatever. Like,
yeah. One thing I've always loved about you is I feel like you're very good at just like hearing what someone is feeling. And even if you're like implicated in it, you're pretty good at keeping like a healthy distance there where it doesn't like block you from listening. So even if I'm like, have articulated something maybe a bit like rough around the edges or whatever, it like you still take it in, whereas I feel like a lot of people kind of shut down at that point. But yeah, I could go on and on about your good qualities, but I really do think you're an excellent communicator. You're very good at conflict resolution. I think we're very aligned on like theories of communication and relationships, and yeah, that helps a lot.
Honestly, nonviolent communication is so good because it like you realize the way that you can, like when I have conversations sometimes with people, they'll say things and I'm like, oh, they didn't really think about what they were saying. And because they'll use like very like, you did this thing. And it's like, well, that's totally subjective. And just learning how that works, how that plays out in your own self really like helps you change the way that you are talking about conflict and conflict resolution, the way you're thinking about it and the way that it's happening. Can't plug that enough. I'm definitely going to do a reread after Mitt Romney, after I reckon with Romney.
Also, obvious point, but like I could talk about this topic for ages. I think like celebrating each other and really like sounds obvious, but really wanting the best for each other and really like seeing the little things that are important to each other that maybe like aren't on your radar as much in your life, but like you see how much they mean to that person. And yeah, I don't know. I think, yeah, ideally friendship is based on like a really high amount of appreciation for each other. And that makes a lot of things easier. I think there are times where I've almost like tried to force friendships with people where I'm like, there isn't that natural two-way appreciation simply because we're like maybe just not the best fit. And it's not that there's anything wrong with either of us, but it's like hard to appreciate people who kind of like great, you know what I mean? Like there's just people that are a better fit for us. They're easier to appreciate usually. And I do, you know, I think we should try and like have appreciation for like everyone to some degree.
Yeah.
But also like, it's good to find a good fit.
Yeah. I'm just like an intuitive person that way. And like just kind of when things feel right and balanced, that's how I go versus like showing up to a relationship being like, here's my expectations for what a good friend is. You have to show up at these times and I do this for you.
That's kind of been a theme for me this year is realizing like, it's like, okay that everyone isn't for you. And also it's not, I think I've kind of had this tendency in recent years to feel like I have to like become what the other person wants me to be in friendship, or do you know what I mean? I feel like my job is to be a good friend, and like it is, but that shouldn't go to a place of like becoming something I'm not, or like, you know what I mean? Like acting a way that isn't natural, or like it doesn't, you should try and build community with, not that you can't have community with people who are different from you, but that it shouldn't feel like a constant clenching, or you shouldn't be like afraid of your relationships. I don't know. Yeah. I think find people that it's easy to love, really. Yeah. Looks like we got another Venmo super chat. Oh my God, it's Ray. It's Daddy Ray. I've been a while since I've caught a live, but I still love watching you guys. Ray, we are always happy to have you. You are a core part of this community and
one of our best frenemies.
One of our you might be our
most
nemesis.
Violent and
if only you were our identical twin, we'd be.
Oh my God, do you think that there's a bizarro podcasting friendship duo out there that's our like alt doppelgangers, nemesis?
I do.
I think they are.
I do see like kind of I really feel like our dynamic is not that dissimilar from Brooke and Connor, even though we're like all slightly different personalities, but just that kind of like platonic male female. I don't know.
Should we go to war with them, or I'm still kind of new to the frenemy thing.
Yeah, we never win against Brooke and Connor. Aunt Jer said, thanks for saying that, Tana. I have anxiety about making mistakes. I'm pretty sure it comes from religious trauma if you have to be perfect. Oh, I was like literally having a whole experience about this last night where I just made a little mistake that wasn't like a deeply unethical thing, but it was just, you know, sometimes you just act a bit chaotically or do things that are a bit like, like after the fact you realize like maybe would have acted differently. Where was I even going with that point? It's just like not helpful to like we kind of like don't get to choose how long it takes for us to learn certain lessons, and it's kind of like sometimes like we don't want to admit that, like we all know that it takes mistakes to learn, but we only socially allow for a certain degree of mistakes, and then after that we're like, you don't deserve compassion, like you should, you know what I mean? And not that this was like some heinous mistake that crossed that line or anything, but I'm just saying, like, I think it's so easy to say everybody makes mistakes, but then when we're actually faced with like the messy human reality of that, of the fact that like, yeah, sometimes we just do things that are like an old pattern coming up. I was thinking a lot about the line like relapse is part of recovery, because it seems true with like kind of any dysfunction, right? Like any like thing you kind of conquer in yourself, be it like a, I don't know, compulsive habit or like tendency to, I don't know, whatever it is, like it's
a maladaptive behavior.
Yeah, it usually takes sort of time to I completely lost my train of thought. But yeah.
As Neil A. Maxwell once
said,
short change artists are few and far between.
What's that?
Quick change artists, maybe is what he said.
Oh, yeah, like we don't always get to choose how long change takes in ourselves. And I think that's been difficult for me over the years, because I might like identify a part of myself I don't like. And honestly, it's a whole question anyway, whether it's even like healthy to try and like completely get rid of certain parts of you. But you know what I mean? It's like I might discover like a habit or a quality about myself I would really like to change. But being like hard on myself about how long it takes for that change to happen can be so counterproductive. And then being like a hardliner can almost make that, like, I feel like in general, all the change I've made in my life most effectively has been like gentle. And it's, I mean, some things you have to obviously step in and have more of a hard line around, but yeah, I don't know. I just think we're all really messy. And I was just thinking last night about how like I need to be a lot less judgmental of everyone. I mean, that's always the lesson always, right?
Yeah.
But it's just so easy because we judge ourselves by our intentions and we judge others by their actions.
It's wild being primates where we're so interdependent and interextant that like so much of our just day in, day out experience is directly connected to how we relate with other people versus just like being an organism on a planet. Like so much of it is like how we relate to other humans. And we have these like big, massive feelings informed by millions of years of biological evolution, of avoiding danger and anticipating danger and fighting. And we're like these like wild animals who are trying to get, grow out of that and get along with each other. And so we have like so much emotional stake in these like social interactions that like when you zoom out and just kind of look down at this planet overrun with primates, you're like, that's not really that big of a deal. Like it is because we all want to be good people. We want to be gentle with each other's hearts and all that, and do good as well as we can, reduce harm as much as we can. But we're all like, I've been thinking about how like it's so easy to want things from other people because we do have that like coexisting interdependent nature to us, that it's very easy for us to ask things from others. And that was kind of what I was talking about with friendship, how there has to be some like freedom for them to just like do no expectations kind of thing.
Yeah.
While also there are, some expectations for like, how you want to feel in a friendship, how you want to be treated, but just that like, you can't be like expecting someone to give something that you won't to yourself that you won't give or do for you. That's true for like romantic relationships or friendships or whatever. And so as we're like, I don't know, it's just it's a lot to figure out, and we're all doing it. And when you really do zoom out, you're like, oh, the like social behaviors of little primates who are waking up to their own being. Yeah, like
as I always say, I didn't
it's so funny that they wake up with night anxiety.
You touched on a really good point, which is, well, first of all, I think it's such a human tendency when there's like something amiss in our internal world to project that out and to be like, oh, that friend's like doesn't care about me enough, when really it's like, well, ask them. If you have like a need that they might be able to meet, like you can just ask them. You don't have to like get offended that they haven't naturally known to do that. But another thing I was thinking of as you're talking was like, I feel like with best friendship, like with anything like that has a title like that, like, you know, boyfriend or best friend, it's easy to like get too fixated on that title. But I think something that has like been healthy in our friendship over the years is like, it does like ebb and flow. Like sometimes if you have like a best friend, you feel like anytime there's like a period of like a bit of distance, or maybe like one of you's changing and you're like not quite aligning with your, you know, you're not quite like doing the same things anymore. It's easy to like for people to like get offended by that or to feel like something's wrong. But I think you kind of do have to hold like a thing like that, like best friend, lightly, because like you might just like have different lives one day, and that it doesn't, not that you can't like love each other forever. But I feel like for us, our friendship has had like a lot of different phases, and I feel very lucky that we have like a creative partnership, because that has like, you know, kept us close. And it is really like, I do think that is also like a fun, having like a shared interest that you are engaged in together, especially in a, you know, where you're like doing a project together, is like very bonding. But I feel like you have to allow for each other to ebb. You have to allow for the relationship to ebb and flow, and also for each other to grow and change, even if that means away from you, which I think can be challenging for people, and it can feel like very personal and offensive. But like a good best friend is someone that like will cheer you on if you need to like go off and sow wild oats elsewhere. Like you'd like to think they'd still like, you know, be in touch and love you and like support you from afar however they can. But yeah.
True friends are guardians of each other's solitude.
I love that quote. I love that quote so much. And it's also true in romantic relationships. Like I feel like this with Jared, we've been together for 6 years. We're not married. And it's like, I'd like to be with you forever, but I think holding that expectation with a little bit of lightness is very useful, because then it's just like the whole like forcing a relationship into a category it maybe won't fit in forever. Maybe it will, maybe it won't. And maybe there's something to be said for like deciding and sticking to it, but I don't know that I know that well enough to like believe in it.
Yeah, I think I get, and I know there's a lot of different and equally valid perspectives on relationships.
I think it's
and relationship
personality
styles.
dependent as well. Like what works for me is not going to be
right.
Yeah.
For me, I like the feeling of just holding that loose connection and allowing things to grow and adapt and become whatever they become that's feels good and is convenient for both people, versus like a friend reminded me of the metaphor of two trees rather than like growing
or like
intertwined.
when one falls down, you both fall down. But if you're each
just like growing and facing not facing each other interlocked, but facing the world next to each other. I really liked.
You should, it should like, I love the metaphor of like, if you're codependent, one of you falls down, you both do. That John Dillon told me that little, it's really helpful for me.
Oh, hand.
Example, we were roommates, and I feel like there were many ways we enjoyed being roommates, but it wasn't necessarily that, like, it wasn't right for us to be roommates forever. Like, and I feel like for some people that might have felt like I don't know, like something to be offended by, or like a negative. But I had
a day of real sadness.
No, I know, me too. Like I still to this day, I'm like, oh, I miss being roommates with Tana. But I'm like, it's nice to just have it be like a period of time we can cherish for what it was. But it's also like there's ways I think it was useful for us to like go off and not live together after that. But it wasn't like a statement on our friendship or how much we love each other. It was just like, this is what makes sense for us. And I think it's tough with romantic relationships, because like once you move in together, it feels like if maybe you don't want to live together anymore, you feel like you have to break up, or it's like, it's so catastrophic, like it's black and white. But it's like, I feel like you could just stop living together and still stay together, because maybe like you want to live apart for a while. But it doesn't
I definitely know couples like that who tried it and were like, no, we're actually we function better having our own places.
I love stuff like that. I love like not like slapping failure labels on things that are like, I just think every relationship should be dynamic and evolving, because that's how we are. And relationships, not roles.
More Than Two, great book, even for monogamous.
Nothing to Find said, my interpretation, they've known each other in past lives, that's a fun theory, have a basis of solid trust and want the best for each other genuinely. That sounds right. Where am I at in these comments? I value and miss my old best friends in hindsight much more than ex-lovers. Besties really teach you so much about yourself. Yes, that is true. Favorite brand of vegan sausages that you like for bangers and mash? Yes, I do.
That's the kind of thing I would text Samantha.
I know.
Well, I'm at the grocery
vegan
store.
Product recommendation. It honestly is the Beyond sausage, like the links.
They're great. Yeah.
They at Piper Down have a bangers and mash that is incredible. Vegan bangers and mash, that is so good. That's the only good like vegan bangers and mash I've had here. In my first relationship in 10 years, and it's had me thinking about how I feel about marriage outside of a Mormon paradigm. Ooh, that's fun that you're in your first relationship in 10 years.
Congrats.
And yeah, fun to think about things outside the Mormon paradigm. Hold someone too close and you'll crush everything you loved about them. Hell, part of the reason I'm happily married is because my husband and I know we can't be everything to each other. Yes. And also things that you maybe were to each other, you don't have to be forever necessarily. Like, again, things can ebb and flow. Oh yeah, I love that quote too. Unspoken expectations are premeditated resentments. Amen. Yeah. It's so easy for expectations to like blind you to what is available for you to enjoy right now. Totally.
That's one of the thankfully I've been at this process long enough now that like usually when I feel like hurt by somebody, I can usually quickly be like, oh, it's because I have a desire that's not being met through this person, but it's not that person's job to fulfill that desire for me, but it has made me conscious of that desire, that my wound, the pain, was an indicator for me to investigate and say, oh, I have a desire for this. I need to take accountability for my own desires and make sure that that's being met, and that I'm not like holding out this person, this unreasonable expectation for them to A, read my mind, and B, execute all my desires.
I feel like part of why we don't have a ton of conflict is because me and you both do err on the side of like, it's probably not that person's fault. Because it's, yeah.
We also get to a point where we're like, it's just not like, it's more like both of us are too lazy to have a genuine beef.
Yeah.
It's like not worth
so fucking true. Yeah. Any like moment of hostility is like so unpleasant. It's specifically with you as well. Like I'm not conflict averse or like I'm pretty like in the middle with like, I think I'm a reasonable amount of like conflict person. I'm not like afraid of it, but I don't like run into it willingly. But for some reason with you, I feel like I have like quite a high level of erring on the side of like avoid it at all costs. I don't know why.
I'm a princess.
I think it's a good thing in general. It's like, yeah, it is just a desire to I think it's because I also respect you so much intellectually and in terms of like emotional intelligence and wisdom and like philosophically that I'm like, it like does inspire me to like look at my own shit more, I think, than maybe other relationships where I haven't had that respect for people.
It'd be hard for us to have like a real, we'd have to be like like way more enmeshed in each
what would make us buy into it?
Yeah, like I don't know.
Yeah, like we could have like
if I came in and you had like a new host sitting down, it was like
even then I don't know.
His name was Ferjando.
If it was your identical twin Ferjando, we would have issues. That's
not
true.
My nemesis.
Yeah, it is your nemesis. Sorry about that. Okay, Ray talking more about his feelings in first relationship in 10 years. Mostly in that marriage is an option more than a requirement. It's no longer an obstacle for sex, which is nice. It's still an obstacle to being able to help her get insurance, which is dumb. Hate that about the US. Otherwise, I think I see it mostly as the same sort of thing. A commitment showing we want to be with each other for as long as possible. Good thoughts. Jules said dating someone for 6 months and someone recently asked if we were thinking of moving in together, and I can't think of anything worse for our relationship. 6 months does seem early.
Yeah.
Me and Jared moved in together after 5 years, and that felt like just the right time. But even then I was like, is it a bit soon? But it's been good. Also, if we moved in, he might lose his disability allowance, which would suck for his sense of independence. I hate how much we have to hear like both those comments. Like that's the fucking story of this country, is like everyone trying to make decisions about whether they have the ability to like live or die. And I hate that comes into so much stuff.
That really sucks. I'm
So
sorry.
upsetting, yeah.
I think even if I lived with someone, I've never lived with a partner.
Yeah,
well,
yeah.
I've like spent time living like
You're
like
right,
a month.
yeah. And was that a lot?
It was good. Like the first month of the pandemic was we were just like gardening and doing art. It was
pandemic
like
was like
fun.
a free for all. Like I don't know, everything was almost in some ways, because everything was like so chaotic, it made things easier in some ways.
Mm-hmm.
It's a nice feeling when you almost like don't have other choices sometimes.
Yeah. Which is why freedom is really a burden.
Yeah. Bondage is freedom, really, when you think about it.
Peace. War is peace.
Freedom is slavery.
What was I saying?
Lived with a partner for a month in the pandemic.
Oh yeah, I think if I did end up living with a partner again, I'd still need like a space, a room, just to like.
It's nice that me and Jared has his like sort of creative room.
Yeah.
Which that's good. And I think it's nice because Jared has a more normal 9 to 5, and I get like so much alone time during the day.
The house to yourself.
Yeah, it's harder for him because I'm like, if he's home, I'm like always home. But we like do our own thing, so yeah, that works out. That's another maybe obvious point, but like maintaining your own identity in any kind of relationship, so important. So important.
I every week take a night, at least one night to myself, because it's just good for me to like just be my own person and to like check in with like what am I doing, what's on my goals, what's on my horizon, like what are my other relationships needing, what's like it's just good. Maybe not for everybody, but
good to keep like relationship energy dispersed a healthy amount as well. Because it's easy to get like zoomed in on one.
I've like polyamory for me has long, like I feel like my thoughts about polyamory first started with friendships, where I was like, oh, my friendships are so important to me and like have been with me through various partners. So like dropping all my friends for like a new partner is not a very good like sustainable life model for me. Like I need to make sure that I'm actively, and you have like really shown me a lot of like what it means to be like a long-term consistent friend, because I moved around a ton as a kid and just was kind of like people come, people go, like just how it goes.
You do have a very like in-out attitude, though you're a great friend. Like it's not but I lived in like the same house my whole life, had like the same I had like different best friends over the years, but I did have like kind of the same core group of friends since I was like 3, and I'm still friends with them now. And like those relationships had to evolve, like moving to another country, like leaving behind a best friend I had like grown up with for 8, like it's a big shift, but it's good. I feel grateful to be able to, it's nice having people in your life for a long time, because even if like maybe you don't get as close, there is something so special about people that have known you in so many different seasons. And for me, thinking about the whole, like, it's easy to feel shame every time you make a mistake. One thing that is always soothing to me is like connecting with people who have known you in like way worse versions of yourself, and like they still loved you then. So it's like your worth really isn't dependent on like your mistakes as much as like we want to like advocate for good morals, and like we should all be working on ourselves and not causing unnecessary suffering and all that. But it's like everyone does deserve love at whatever stage they're in. Simply trying should really be celebrated.
Which is why I'm reading Romney A Reckoning.
There are words besides like in the English language. Okay.
Prove it.
When I was watching our new video, I was cringing at how often I was saying like. It was so I would be like couching a word. Like I'd be bookending a word with like just constantly. It was so hard to watch. That's a way I need to grow and change. But you have loved me in all my likes.
All the likes, all the dislikes.
I need a wee. You're gonna have to freestyle rap.
You're leaving me here with the kids alone. I'm not a guardian. Hi. Please don't base any big life decisions on the next 2 minutes. We're just gonna try to hold down the fort. This is like when your teacher got a bad migraine issue. the second semester of school and had to drop out, and you got the substitute teacher, and you're like, I don't think this person knows anything about geography. And yet, here they are day in and day out teaching us about geography. And yeah, that's where we are. Should I buy a house? Yes, you should. Now, real estate, baby. Oh, yeah. Okay. Can you actually buy a house? Are people buying houses? Are you homeowners, landlords? Are we talking with owners of the landowning class? God, I would love to be one someday. I just want like a little pocket of land. Does someone want to give me like a little straight corner just to beautify, set up a little art thing, keep a little garden? I just want like a one little spot. That's my dream I'm trying to manifest. Just a little parcel of land. Wow, Joshua, good job. Jules, mortgage, yeehaw. That's just like having a home. Interest rates, yeah. I have no idea what the interest rates are even like these days because it's so far off of my radar. I love being a renter. I'm going to rent to the day I die. I just love it. Wild that you could used to be able to buy a house for like a nickel, and now it's like at least 30 nickels.
I'm back.
Doesn't mean it's my time for a smoke break.
A smoke break?
I mean a cat break.
You can't have a cat break without
Hi.
me.
What's up, buddy? Is this Jack's first time on air?
It might be.
Oh, he's out of there.
If you all could be friends with any spiritual teacher, who would it be?
Sam, that was very scary. Never ever do that to me again.
What did I do?
Leave me alone with them. They were
I know, it's
coming
really
at
hard.
me.
Yeah, they're horrible. All of them, every last one.
All our frenemies.
Horrid. 1,000 loyal frenemies, babe.
That will pay to see your downfall.
What spiritual teacher would you be friends with?
Probably just because he's notably not a spiritual teacher, Terrence McKenna.
Is he alive? No,
Dead.
Who's alive that we might?
Oh, was that a live question?
Well, no, but just because Terrence would be fun. But who would be fun? Who's alive?
The doc who played Airbud, Zen Master, as far as I'm concerned.
Baby bot Alex Baldwin. Who's a good spiritual teacher? I mean, it's just hard because be friends with. I want them to be fun as well as wise.
That's honestly the problem I have with most spiritual teachers is that they've positioned themselves as spiritual teachers. And I do like the kind of like Alan Watts approach where he's like, hey, listen, I'm not like a person with authority. I have nothing really to teach you. I have a perspective and I hope it's entertaining. So if you enjoy hearing this perspective, listen on. And that's resonates with me a bit more than like, I know the keys and secrets of the universe and shall impart you the secret.
All the spiritual teachers we like aren't really like that. They might be very spiritual, like Jack Cornfield. I'm thinking of he's serious in being a spiritual teacher because he recognizes that that's like a role he plays, but he's also very self-aware. Yeah. And self-deprecating is so important.
Yes. Yeah.
Also, Ray
the
said
element of irreducible rascality.
Yes, exactly. Ray said it's Jack's third or fourth time if him being in the background counts. I love that you knew that, Ray.
Another lore keeper in the chat. Jack Wayland is another living spiritual teacher I would love to be friends with.
Oh God, and he's in his final years.
The lessons. I wonder, is he writing still? I wonder if he's coming out with any bangers. Soon.
Just see his most recently published. I don't think he is. Chat.
Is Francis Weller still alive? Kelly, are you in the chat? Oh my God. What's her name? Barbara.
Oh, 2017. He wrote Hannah's Legacy. 2017 might be his most. Oh, On the Run. 2023.
He wrote a book in 2023?
March 2023.
We're reading it.
Wait, we actually should read his most recent work for the next. That's so fun. Oh my God.
See what old Jack is up to.
Oh my God. I'm going to ask our Patreon community, do you guys support this as the choice? Because 2023, come on. Gorgeous.
You know who would be if he counts as a spiritual teacher? Duncan Trussell.
Oh, yeah. And he would be so fun to be friends with. Yeah, definitely him. I also really like Dan Harmon from the 10% Happier podcast. I feel like he is quite funny. Not as fun, nowhere near Duncan Trussell level, but that might be fun.
Wow, a new Jack Wayland. That's
Stephanie
exciting.
the Reckoning.
Stephanie.
We should write Reckoning
the
with Jack
Steckening.
Wayland.
Yes. How bomb would it be if we just suddenly dropped a Jack Wayland musical?
I think it would have to be a Charlie musical
Probably.
to have any reach.
Yeah. Sophie, how did I miss his Elf Live? You didn't. You're right here.
Yeah, here you are.
No time like the
The
present.
timeless, eternal present.
We've always been here now.
Yeah, we've never not been live streaming. And we'll never stop. But should we stop soon?
Yeah, do you have anything fun going on
Unless
this
you guys
weekend?
have any final Venmo or Super Chats you want to send us. Do I have anything fun going on this weekend?
Yeah.
Well, just Ash's movie,
Oh,
Woman
it's gonna
Baby
be so
Shower,
fun.
Great British Bake Off, Triple Send Home.
Triple send home.
Other than that, I don't think so. Not that I can think of right now.
All right. Well, hope
Well,
you
yes,
all
what
have
are you
a
doing?
funky, fresh Friday, and you're all precious beings who
So
deserve the
precious.
best, just to be in the most sweet, nurturing soil, sprinkled with the most, alkalized water available, and with so much vitamin D sunshine just pouring onto you, causing you to sprout and bloom and fill the earth with the gift that is your presence.
Your mistakes do not define you. We've got another super chat.
Oh, saved by the bell.
And it's Ray.
Oh my goodness.
In case I miss a future live.
Wow. A preemptive.
One final.
Wait, is it? How even?
I know. So middle fingers down straight. It really is a brain game.
Okay. Well, that's for you. Thank you so much. We love you all so much. Thanks for supporting the channel. Thanks for watching.
If you haven't watched our Claymation podcast or the video we just put up yesterday called An Absolutely Stunning Christian Breakup Scene, highly recommend both of them. Also recommend our Patreon series, Stephanie. If you haven't got in on that yet, you can pledge as little as $1 a month and watch all of our Patreon stuff.
Aww.
So yay.
Somebody said you guys do a better job on my depression than meds.
Oh.
That's very sweet.
That's so nice. Well, we do it all through Christ who strengthens us, I think. So.
And the patrons who strengthen him, I'm sure he has a very robust
Yeah,
Patreon.
he has 1,000 loyal nemesis and fans.
Okay, love you.
Love you.
Bye.
This was fun.